Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the latest information concerning Trump and what happened in Pennsylvania. We are going to talk about good practices for processing information. And we're going to talk about a video that went out that was definitely not a Bostradamus video, despite how it appears today. We're going to do this because I got a message. Okay, so I just saw what the investigators are saying. They're now saying he may have not had a motive related to politics. So I went back to find the first video where you said that. WTF. How did you know that right away? Then I wound up watching the whole video. You were right about everything. Motive, where the Secret Service messed up, and even him being an amateur. I'm not here to stroke your ego. That's not what he said. Literally, how did you know? What is the process? Okay, so if you have missed the reporting, according to the reporting, the investigators are now openly speculating that he really didn't have much of a political motive, that he was looking for somebody high profile, and well, whoever had the highest profile who came closest first, that person might have just done. In addition to what we've already talked about with him having photos of Biden and scheduling information, my understanding is that there were other photos of national figures as well. Okay, so to the question, how did you know? I didn't. If you go back and watch that video, again, I'll put it down below for those who may not have seen it. I didn't know. The only thing that I was certain about was that the critiques for the marksman, the Secret Service marksman, that those were wrong. That was the only thing in that video that I was certain about. Everything else was me listing options, things that could be. What's the process behind that? When there is a dramatic event and pretty much the entire media latches on to what seems apparent, even when there is more unknown information than known, don't follow that idea. Don't follow that idea. Don't follow that presentation, because if you do, just go ahead and wait for the corrections. It's almost never right. I didn't know that it was going to turn out that way. It was an option because he appeared amateurish. So it was included, but it was included in a list of other options. It wasn't that I knew, it's that I didn't rule it out because I didn't have any evidence to rule it out. I didn't have anything at that point in time saying that it wasn't the case, and it is something that is pretty common. So without evidence that supported another theory, and there's no evidence to rule it out, well, you don't. You keep it on the table. You keep it as an option. I was fairly certain about the advance and a miscommunication because what happened doesn't happen without that occurring. But again, that was a suggestion. This is something that likely happened. Not for certain that it did. Even with the speculation coming from the investigators, I'm not at the point where I would say for certain that he didn't have a political motive. But it is certainly leaning more that way the more information that comes out. It wasn't something that it wasn't a possibility that was entertained by many people. It should have been. There was no reason to rule that out yet. It wasn't that I knew. It was part of a list of options. The whole point of that video could be summed up with be comfortable with uncertainty. Look for actual evidence before you marry yourself to a theory. This is a good example of that. But it just as easily could have turned out that everything was exactly as it appeared from the beginning. It's just the evidence wasn't there to say that yet. So I didn't. I did not know anything other than all of the critiques about the marksman. Those were wrong. That's the only thing in that video that I say for certain. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.